So today we're going to be reacting to the Fox 5 news article that was published yesterday on CJ So Cool. But before we get into it, I wanted to talk about the tweet by Bandman Kevo that was also published yesterday. And it seems like a lot of people are pointing the finger at Royalty for some reason. This is what Bandman Kevo had posted. Royalty haven't said nothing about CJ So Cool getting shot. Something is not adding up. Is that weird? Your baby daddy gets shot and you haven't said nothing after her boyfriend posted like he shot CJ. Wow. What do you guys think about that? It seems like a lot of people, based on the comments on the last couple of videos that we did, are pointing the finger at either Royalty or Alexi. But this is the article done by Fox 5 in Las Vegas. They published this again yesterday as well. Now, the first couple paragraphs are pretty much just an introduction as to who is CJ. He's a social media influencer. He got shot. He's at the hospital. But it seems like the story is pretty vague. You know, like we don't know exactly. And even when CJ talked about this, and again, this is just my opinion. Everything in this video is just my opinion. And because it's my opinion doesn't mean it's based on 100% facts. But one thing I can't seem to understand is the actual distance from which the suspects were firing. Because, like, you read this, and it seems like he was deep into his sleep when they, I guess, broke into his room. Did they start shooting from a distance, like at the door, at him when he's sleeping in bed? Or did they actually, was it close contact? Like, that doesn't seem to be quite clear. Because at times it reads like, you know, they were shooting from a distance, you know, I guess them standing at the door of his bedroom or whatever, and he's laying in bed. Or I guess sometimes it's identified that they, I guess, hit him in his forehead. So it's not quite clear where were they shooting in the room. Was there like a distance gap? Was it close contact? Like all that stuff seems to be quite unclear. Like right here, it says, they hit me here. This is CJ, I guess. And I fell. When I fell, my reaction was to go to my nightstand. Like, if they hit you and you fell, and then I guess you reach for your nightstand, and these two guys are armed, like, and they're shooting, and it's just like some of that stuff is quite vague. Like, are you getting shot while you're reaching for for, I guess, your firearm inside your nightstand or whatever? Like, the story isn't quite, it just is not clear. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe you guys have a more clear explanation or clear understanding of it. But to me, it just seems quite vague, you know, whether they were shooting at while they were standing at the door and he's laying in bed, or I guess they approached them, close contact, and started shooting. And then I guess, or they hit him. He fell off the bed onto the floor to reach for the nightstand. It's just like, which one is it? And this part is also interesting. The police said this was a targeted attack. Nothing was taken from the home. I have 2 SUVs in the garage, open, both the trunks looking for God knows what. I have $1 million in jewelry, but also nothing was taken. But so I'm like, why? Okay, so if nothing was taken, then this isn't clearly about his possessions. This isn't like, you know, his material objects. This must be something like personal. And this is why I said, you know, in some of my other videos, I said this could possibly be an insider job. Like, this has to be somebody that knows him. And this clearly, obviously, is not about items because nothing was taken. And then again, I mean, like, CJ So Cool doesn't really live a very lavish lifestyle in comparison to a lot of these other, you know, major YouTubers like Manny Koshbin. Manny Koshbin has an extensive car collection of hypercars. Like, we're talking about like $30 million in cars. We're talking about Bugattis, like Paganis. Like he has like maybe like 10 SLRs, McLarens, like all kinds of expensive hypercars, like on a whole other level. So, and there's like, I know some people are going to use the example, Manny Koshbin might be not black. TJ Millionaire Mentor is black. You know, there's a lot of black, and there's all kinds of YouTubers social media influencers, all kinds of people that are extremely successful. I would say like at a much higher bracket over CJ So Cool. CJ So Cool might have, a lot of influence, might have a lot of subscribers than these guys, but these guys have more money outside of YouTube. They have more established businesses. So if I had to guess, again, this is just my opinion, I would say that CJ So Cool might be somewhere in the range of like $10 million, somewhere in that range. But Manny Koshbin and like TJ Millionaire Mentor, they're like somewhere over $100 million. So if the argument is about his possessions, his jewelry, because some people, are coming from that direction. They're like, oh, it's because of his cars, his jewelry, his flashy lifestyle, whatever. I mean, his lifestyle isn't really all that flashy in comparison to a lot more other successful YouTubers like, these guys right here. Like TJ Millionaire Mentor, his mansion is like almost like $20 million. CJ So Cool lives in a townhouse. All right, I think it's a townhouse. It looks like a pretty small property. I know a lot of average folks that have the same type of property that CJ So Cool rents out or whatever. So it's not like a very glamorous, flashy lifestyle if you really think about it, because there's a lot of other YouTubers, the Hamilton Collection, they got like $20 million in cars. So it couldn't be, in my opinion, I don't think it has anything to do with the material objects or the flashy lifestyle. I don't think that's really I just don't think that's what they were after. This has to do, in my opinion, this has got to be something personal. Like, this has got to be something like between him and somebody else. Who knows? And this is why I think a lot of people are pointing the finger at different people around him, or like in his circle, inner circle, or maybe people that used to be in like ex-relationships or whatever. I think it probably has to do with something like along those lines, like relationship wise. But I can't see the argument that it's because he's flashy, he's got jewelry, he's got cars. Like a lot of the cars he has are not really like, all that. Yeah, they're like Lamborghini Urus, like a Huracan, like those cars. Like so many other YouTubers like that barely have 100,000 subscribers already have those cars, and the channels that I mentioned, like the Dobry Brothers, TJ Millionaire Mentor, Will Motivation, Manny Koshbin. These guys got like really, really super expensive cars. So it has to be something other than the lifestyle or this flashiness or whatever. I think there's something more to it than that. But again, that's just my opinion. And my opinion is not based on 100% facts. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Thanks for watching.